We're back. It feels like it's been a minute. We're going to talk about, again, the quantum lens, multiple perspective realities. I'm kind of going to put together bits and pieces. I don't really have a structure or a flow. It's going to flow divinely, and what needs to be said will be said. All right, we're going to zoom out. We're going to zoom in. We're going to tap in 3D, 4D, 5D. We're going to look at the bigger picture, the micro of the macro, the what is within is without. We're going to do a little Q&A. We're going to talk about all kinds of different things, and we're going to see what happens. All right, we're going to see what happens. So thank you guys for joining. Thanks for tuning in on these lives. And it's really fun. Like, I love sharing my lens and sharing my voice and sharing my truth and giving back to you guys information, little tidbits, little breadcrumbs that can literally help you connect your own dots. And I'm not the guru. I'm not your life coach. I'm not your someone you put on a pedestal. Let go of those expectations. If things resonate with you, the things that I share, embody them, feel them. How does that feel to you in your body? All right, sometimes we get stuck in the mind and we're disconnected from the heart. If things don't resonate, ask yourself why. Question those things. Identify those truth triggers and question those things that are keeping you maybe stuck in that left brain, that thought loop that is going over and over and over. I know for some of you right now, there's a lot of quote unquote energy. It seems like we say that every day. There's so much energy coming in. There's so much energy. Energy is real. And energy doesn't lie. And energy shows us a lot, especially when we're open to receiving it and we're open to embodying it and embracing it. And when you can connect these things and how to build up energy in your life, which could be maybe the first thing we discuss, how you can build up energy in your life and how that energy that you build can help you manifest, and it can help you create, it can help you heal, it can help you transmute, it can help you empower, it can help you teach, and it can help you inspire. What happens is we seem to be walking around as if we're low on battery. Look, when was the last time your iPhone maybe was 10% battery? What did you do? Were you freaking out? Where's my cord? Where's my charger? A lot of us are living life like that today, except we don't know where to plug in. We don't know where to recharge. We don't know how to build our energy up. And the very things we try to do to recharge are in fact taking more from us, and when we see that full charge on our battery, that 100% on our iPhone, it's like, I feel good. You guys ever get that? It's like, I feel pretty good because my apps are running full force. We're such a micro of the macro of technology in itself, and we're heading into this technological era. We're already in it now. Right now, the world is kind of being bombarded with memes, with information, with words, with statistics, with analytics, from the voting to the stock market to Wall Street and everything going on there. And here's the thing. Pause right there. The things you see right now in mainstream, the things you see right now, maybe in the 3D world, the things that you see are sometimes distractions from bigger things happening. Because the bigger things happening, you're not always going to see it perhaps on TV. You're not going to see it always on social media or on Twitter, on your feed or Gab or Telegram even. There's so much more. And here's the biggest thing too is you can get caught up in that. You can get caught up in a lens that is outside your current reality, right? We like to zoom out. We like to look at the bigger picture, and yet we forget to zoom in. We forget to zoom in sometimes on the things that we can control. And when we're so caught up on this bigger picture lens and this zoom out reality, which I even get caught up in at times, your inner world, your world that you're currently in, the rest of your body, because all of our energy is up here, it's kind of stuck in this brain and not in our body. This is where we can get very, very fatigued. And maybe some of you are feeling that. So ask yourself, if you're a little low on energy, if you're a little tired, maybe triggered, emotional, imbalanced, you can't put a thought together, check in where your energy is going. Like, if you visualize, where would it be if there was an infrared scanner on your body? Where would a lot of that red be in your life? Where would a lot of that energy be? Would it be up in here in the brain? Would it be down here in your root chakra? Would it be in your heart space? Maybe it's in your fingers because you're on your phone all day. Maybe it's at your feet because you're feeling ungrounded or you're feeling too stable and you're not allowed to see the bigger picture. Right? So building energy in your life is so, so important, because the things outside of you are a manifestation of the things within you. And if you're on here and you're watching this replay, ask yourself right now, or in the future, in the past, whenever, how do I build energy? How do I build energy? What does that mean, build energy? How do I build something up? Well, for example, eating more fruits and vegetables. Plain and simple, right? We're told this at an early age. Our parents, did what they could, and the knowledge that they had. Having fruits and vegetables, herbs, living foods that are harnessed energy from the sun, full of biophotons, full of angstroms, full of enzymes, full of antioxidants, full of alkalinity, full of electrons. Electrons is such a powerful word. Having that food inside of you, because I am huge on the law of thermodynamics. If you guys don't know what that is, the law of thermodynamics states that energy basically does not stop. It's passed from one thing to another. So if we're eating food that is literally living and harnessed, all right, and you put it under a microscope and there's actual activity, there's electricity, there's electromagnetic properties, and we put that into our system and we start breaking it down and we start consuming it and it starts becoming us, and our blood and our kidneys and our liver and our organs, everything becomes of what it is that we consume. Whether that's fruits, vegetables, some of you maybe animal products, that's all power to you. You see, I never put anybody down for choosing what they eat because they know what's best for them. As long as they know what it's doing and what's happening and what's occurring internally, that's the great awareness that you're going to want to have. And that's the greatest thing you can take away. For me, I operated best pretty much with fruits and vegetables. And I learned that years ago, and it's been years since. And the energy that I have, the cravings, the stability, the digestion, the cleanliness, my blood, my lymphatic system, my muscle, my organs, my detox organs, my colon, my digestion, my sleeping patterns has just skyrocketed when you're living and eating foods created and designed to be consumed in itself with those laws of thermodynamics. I didn't want to consume death. It's like, sure, I might be deficient in a certain vitamin. I'm happy to surrender that to not consume death. That's just me. That is just me. I'll find it in a plant. If anything, I'll supplement it. Worst case, if anything, I'm okay. I won't put my attention to it because I feel so amazing, right? So that's totally fine, you know. But for me, I can't. I choose not to consume death. I choose not to consume anxiety. I choose not to consume fear. I choose to consume living, life, electrons, energy. I choose to consume that, right? So that's the first thing you can do to build energy. Consume living energy. Second one is water. A lot of us are drinking water that has nothing to it. It's dead. It's bottled. It's acidic. It's stagnant. It's inflammatory. It's oxidizing. That's why I'm huge on the water that I drink, and so many around the world, thousands of people are drinking, because it's full of electrons. Plain and simple. It's full of electrons. It's as close as you're going to get to natural water that comes from the ground, from Telecote, Mexico, Lourdes, France, Norndau, Germany, all of these different places. Now, I don't know how many people live around these areas, and that's totally fine. For me, this is my best next option. So I've been consuming this for years, and this water truly has flushed my body physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually as well. Another thing you can do is ground. Put your feet on Mother Earth. Get those electrons from the ground. It helps you root in. It helps you feel comfortable and stable. It helps you tap into like this awareness, because sometimes, like you said, we're floating in a whole nother different world at times. We're daydreaming. We're in a whole nother dimension. It's like we're in another portal, and yet we forget that our hot air balloon can be stored. Our hot air balloon is great because when you're on the ground, you can take others with you. So staying grounded is so important. Taking deep breaths, breathing through your belly, right? Breathing is so powerful. 70% of our detoxification, a lot of it comes from the breath. A lot of us think it's sweat and going to the bathroom. Those are another huge elimination factors. But the breath, and look what people have been doing for the last year. Face masks. They're breathing in back their own waste. All that cellular debris, that CO2, that lymphatic waste, that gunk from the lungs, the broken down, all those contaminants are literally coming out, and we're keeping it from coming out, and it's cycling and recycling back in, right? That to me is destroying the immune system. So it's keeping us from breathing in life force. It's keeping us from expelling waste. It's also keeping us from speaking our truth. So you see the symbolisms of what these masks are doing. Well, in one lens, it's to protect. In another lens, it's to deflect and suppress. Depends what lens you look at, depends where you are in your reality, depends where you are in your consciousness, right? Everyone has their own right to speak their truth. And what happens is we tend to take power from each other when we do speak it, and we're becoming aware of that. We're going through a complete dark night of the soul, I feel, in the collective. We've been going through it for quite some time. It's just magnifying even more and more and more and more, right? So grounding, breathing, living water, living food, movement. All right, just movement in itself, whether it's yoga, fitness, resistance training, going for a walk, hiking, stretching, chasing your kids, just doing anything movement-wise. Anytime you guys move the body, if you guys move your body right now, your body creates electrons. We're piezoelectric beings, so our muscles are piezoelectric. They create electrons, and this has been proven. You can look up all kinds of things. Here, for an example, this is Dr. Jerry Tennant. This is a book that I've gone through, and it's a long one. It's called Healing is Voltage. Okay, I'm going to blow your mind here really quick. Ready? Healing is voltage. Our body operates at a certain voltage. Okay, believe it or not. Our cells, believe it or not, operate at a certain voltage. A healthy cell operates at about a negative 20 millivolts. Okay, now what happens is our cells become parent cells and they have children. Just like we become parents and have children. Our cells are doing that every single day. Every single moment, it seems. Trillions of cells are being birthed. Here's the thing. If I've got negative 20 millivolts in my cells, I'm probably going to create another healthy cell. That's anti-aging. That's staying healthy. That's staying proactive. That's taking care of your health at the cellular level, right? Now, what happens if my cellular voltage starts to drop? Let's say it starts getting to a positive 5, positive 10 millivoltage. Well, now you're going to start replicating cells that might not be the healthiest. There might be some distortion in the DNA. There might be some kind of genetic key that's not passed on effectively, right? Epigenetics plays a huge role. So when we have weak intracellular voltage, or for example, a weak intracellular pH, because voltage and pH go hand in hand, you're not going to see that much. You got to do a little digging to connect that dot, but it's out there. You're going to find yourself in a place of optimal health. Right? And sometimes when we're at that voltage, a negative 50 millivolt, right, coming into our body. How do we get that, Chris? How can we raise our cellular voltage or our internal, external pH, so to speak? Back to what I just said earlier. Living food and living water specifically. Right? The water that I drink has a negative millivoltage. It has a negative charge. When you put your feet on the ground, there's negative charge in the ground. What's a negative charge? It's the feminine. They're like, oh my gosh. The negative millivoltage is the feminine. So when we're unhealthy, because we're over masculine. We're imbalanced at the cellular level. Everything that happens at the cellular level, the microcosm, the quantum level, is a byproduct of the external, the macro level. So when our cellular voltage starts to drop and starts becoming positive, we start becoming over fiery. We become acidic. We start getting inflamed. We start creating, chronic disease or acute disease or body pains or discomforts, allergies and sickness and so forth. Bacterial infections, virus infections, right? Those come from an overly toxic, overly masculine, very fiery, positive cellular voltage, which can be termed as acidic. And you guys probably heard of acid and alkaline, right? So here's another thing. You guys remember the quote unquote therapeutic drug that was banned last year, HCQ. We're not going to go any deeper, okay? Why was that banned? What does it do? What did that drug do? You look this stuff up. Look this stuff up. I'm just going to share what I've discovered, right? What that does, it actually raises your cellular voltage. No wonder mainstream didn't want to get that out. Imagine millions of people raising their cellular voltage with a simple supplement, a simple medication, right? Because there's a lot of great things out there that we can use, right? So take what you want from that, take and use it. But really in reality, it comes down to our health is determined by our cellular voltage. And so a lot of things, again, it goes back to charging your cell phone, right? If you have your cell phone that has a full battery, but yet you're consuming, let's say, meat, dairy, and eggs, which have a positive voltage, you're consuming dead water, tap water, bottled water, even distilled and RO water. Great filters, testing it, positive voltage. It's a positive ORP. It's inflammatory, it's oxidizing. You just connect that simple dot. So no wonder we are getting fatigued as a collective, because we're harnessing energy that is not necessarily energy, it's synthetic energy. Because we've never been taught what energy really is. And when you think energy, you think calories and caffeine. What else? Seriously, you ask millions of people, when you think of energy, how do you create more energy? Well, eat more. Eat more calories. Oh, have a cup of coffee, have an energy drink. Now it's breathe deeper, it's go ground, it's move your body, it's exercise, right? All of these things. Yes, that book is called Healing is Voltage by Dr. Jerry Tennant. He has a whole practice on YouTube that talks about voltage, cellular voltage, and how you can see different parts of the body and how it fluctuates, because every organ has a different pH. Every organ has a different quote unquote cellular voltage. Every organ has a different meridian channel. Every organ has, different parts of the body where, you guys ever know ley lines externally in the world, how we have ley lines? We have meridian lines. And so scarring, emotional trauma, dental issues, root canals, anything like that is going to cause blockages in your energetic circuitry. So you have this energy going through your body, going through your chakras, going through your meridians. And what happens, it comes across a trauma. It comes across a scar. It comes across an emotional baggage. It comes across a wound, and you get glitched out a little bit. Your energy glitches, and then what happens? Your energy gets stuck. It gets stuck in your solar plexus, and we lose our willpower. It gets stuck in our lower body, and we start losing our foundation. Maybe it gets stuck in our neck. We have trouble speaking our truth, or it gets stuck in our third eye because of surgery or any kind of incision, so to speak, or blue light, EMF frequencies. Everything in this world is designed to throw your energy off. It's designed to keep you out of homeostasis. And so now you're having a lot of people that are imbalanced, right? They're dehydrated. They are overstressed. They're overstimulated. They're in the sympathetic nervous system. They're in the overmasculine fight or flight state. So when you tell them that quote unquote their government is hurting them, you just triggered all of that I just said. You just triggered all of those things I just said. So that's why you see, as frustrated as you can get with people who are not really seeing what you're seeing, know that it is not them. It's like, what? Know that it is not them. Ask questions. Questions allow digging in the subconscious, which can start the process of purging and clearing these neural pathways. Right? We have so much neurochemistry in our system, especially in our nervous system. Our nervous system is full of neural pathways. It's full of neurochemistry, right? In many different ways. And a lot of that is stored in our fascia. So those of you who have that tight muscles that are resistant to yoga, that maybe you go get a massage and you're in pain, or it's sticky, or it's feelings, you're resisting feeling an emotion. You're resisting feeling a memory that's been stored in you, because you have so much space in the human body. The human body is full of space, more space than we can even imagine. And we have every little bit of outside of us is within us, from the stardust, from the oceans, the minerals, the trees, the animals, the energy, the neutrinos, the enzymes, the DNA. Everything is within is without. And it's a fascinating concept as you continue to connect these dots in itself, right? So knowing that this society, this world is designed to have you lose your energy. It's designed to throw you off homeostasis. It's designed to keep you in lack and scarcity financially. And you're seeing that getting exposed on Wall Street and the economy. It's designed to keep you in a place where you're disconnected from source and you're disconnected from God. And it's almost like we're here, but we're so far away from here. We're coming back to that 0 point right now. We're coming back from that 0 point. And it's that hero's journey that we're all on. We're on this journey to come back to this single moment, the present moment, the now, because everything else is a linear, time-made, man-made construct to keep us out of our true potential of who we are, which is God within. As we come back to this journey in the heart space, we come back to this now, it's a bumpy ride. It's a rough ride. And it manifests externally with protests and riots, with attacks and confusion and war and poverty. It manifests in all of those different ways. Right? As you come back to this state of being, you return back to origin. You literally are returning back to origin. We all are right now, right? We're all going through this purge. And that's why this energy can feel so intense, because it's almost like you're time traveling, but yet it's still Friday night. It's such a mind warp, right? It's such a mind warp. And this is the ability to tap into different awarenesses, tap into different perspectives, and tap into different situations, right? So that's more happening at the cellular level, the quantum level, happening within you right now. And if that resonates, great. If it doesn't, ask why. What of those things that I just spoke about piqued your attention, got you a little curious, like made you start maybe questioning certain things, right? These are the little things that are going to help you in your journey, instead of just subscribing to what I share or what someone else shares that you follow, because at the end of the day, I always give power back to people. I ask people now sometimes, like, what do you expect of me? Asking people, what do you expect of me? The thing is, we create so many stories, so many different stories about each other. And the stories that we create are a byproduct of the unknown. The fear of the unknown, the fear of what's going to happen next, the fear of what's going to happen tomorrow, the fear of who's our next president, the fear of what's going to happen in the economy, the fear of where my money's going to come from tomorrow, the fear of what I'm going to eat later. We have so many unconscious fears because of the unknown. And when you become aware of it and you can observe it without attaching to this fear of unknown, the unknown is where a lot of this magic happens. It's where God talks to you directly. It's where you have this tapping, this inner knowing, this inner being that you do know those answers. And that's where you're bringing power back to you. And that's what I share with people. And that's why I share what I share on my page. I share what I share on my page to let you in on my process, to let you in on my journey, to let you in on some of the things that I've identified, the dots that I've connected, not just for me, and for me to build abundance and to build businesses and communities and to help you. It's to give back to you. It's to put it in a simple way that I can give back to you, that you can unwrap your gifts. You can remember how powerful you are. You can take back your power from so many different things outside of us. You can learn how to say no to things that no longer serve you. You can learn how to detox the body and to clean out this vessel that God has designed and flows through you. Not because I told you, right? I love this saying, and it hit home so well. I believe in people. I can't believe for people. I'll say that one more time. I believe in people. I always will. I always have. There's no reason why I wouldn't. I don't care what your background is, who you are, what you're from, your skin color, your ethnicity, your demographic, your income. Those are all man-made constructs to separate and create labels and illusions. Beneath all of that, right? Pull all the layers back. So where you pull onion back, layers of an onion, you cry because it's not a fun thing sometimes for people. That's who you truly are. And that's what I help people remind themselves. Why? Because I found that within myself. I pulled those layers of onions back. Right? I pulled all those different things. When you pull those things back and you teach people and you educate and you empower and you inspire and not do it for them and not tell them what they should or need to do and what they have to do or else, right? Sometimes that's a false expectation because we put false expectations on each other. And yes, we want the best for each other, but that comes with expecting something in return. For example, I want you to be the best version of yourself, but in return, give me something back. I get the energy exchange at times. At the end of the day, I just want to give it back to you. I just want to give it back to people. I just want to give this information back to you, your friends, your family, to give you little steps because that's how we're going to make change in this world. Right? That's how we're going to make change in this world. We're not here to save the world. It's not we're here to save ourselves. We're here to free ourselves. We're here to liberate our own self from the mental matrix, right? From the programs and stereotypes that have been placed upon us, that have been passed down from generations to generations. We're waking up. This is the Great Awakening, you guys. You've done this before. You've done this many, many times. And I like to remind that of you. And if you're getting the chills and if this resonates, it's because you know truth is real. Truth triggers. Truth empowers, right? And we can problem project or we can create solutions. It's always fascinating to look sometimes on social media and look at, pages that are sharing what's wrong with the world, the conspiracy stuff, why are governments this and that. And I look and I can't find no solutions anywhere. No calls to actions, no mindset shifts, no empowerment traits, no little things that you can do to really come out better. Right? For me, it's creating a community, Wake Water Co., helping initiate this change with water leading the way, teaching people about abundance and teaching people about financial literacy, how to escape the matrix or a corporate world, right? It's teaching people how to detox, how to raise their cellular voltage, right? How to learn, how to tap into their right and left brain, right? How to embrace these things and embody it in a way that you can express it to others. That's what I'm all about. So creating solutions is what I'm all about. I call myself Cobb the Builder. Bob the Builder, Cobb the Builder. That's my initials, C-O-B. Cobb the Builder. I build people. I build people up, not by building them for them, by showing them where their bricks are, where the tool shed is, how to put things together and say, okay, it's all you. Do it. You can do it. You got it. Some people call me like the dad of the wake. It's like a father figure. And I've been blessed to have a father who taught me so much, who always was my biggest fan, who gave me my power and allowed me to choose what was best for me. And that's what I want to give back to people, right? That's what I want to give back to people, and that's what you can give back to people. For those of you that are watching this right now, you are an influencer in someone's life. You are a coach to somebody out there. Someone out, I love this, again, another saying I love, someone out there is manifesting you. Someone out there is writing in their journal right now. They're writing in their journal, calling you in. Somehow, some way, I don't know the exact details. I do know someone's writing out there. The millions and billions of people are writing about their journal, their manifestation journal for something you are, you offer, you provide, your lens, your perspective. The only difference is we hold ourselves back because we're afraid of what people will think. And it's not easy. I'm right there with you. It was a blockage for me for years. At this time, though, you're being called out more than ever. And if you're watching this or watching the replay, you probably know what I'm talking about. You're like, oh boy, okay. I'm gonna start sharing a little bit, right? I'm gonna start empowering others a little bit more. I'm gonna start asking some more questions. That's what you can do. We all have a divine plan in this role, right? Or a divine role in this plan, in this divine movie that we're watching. Right. Speaking of movie, let's segue a little bit, right? Let's segue a little bit to maybe the 4D world, the quote unquote quantum lens, the Q lens, so to speak. You guys, this is wild what's unfolding. So many people felt let down from about 10 days ago, or 9 days, almost 10 days of darkness it seems, with the quote unquote election, so to speak. There are so many little drops. I would be on here for 10 hours to show you that we are far from anything that you might think we're headed, which is nothing short of the best is yet to come. I mean, it is wild what is unfolding. And there's so many bits and pieces. There's so many drops and clues. And I miss sharing it on social media where I do share it on Telegram. So if you aren't on my channel, Telegram channel, we almost got 1,000 people on that channel. I've been blessed to manifest and to attract legitimate sources of information that I truly trust and I've been following for quite some time because, you know, anything out there can become truth, it seems like, in a world that no one really knows what's going on. But to zoom out and realize what is unfolding and what you're witnessing, right? And what a whole new wave of millions of people that are getting quote unquote red pilled right now. And they're realizing, wait a minute, okay, this actually didn't happen. There's no way this is real. There's no way this person is doing this in this Oval Office right now. There's no way you're having that happen now. And it's all part of the divine plan. There's waves of awakening. The biggest thing is we've got to be patient. Being patient and seeing things unfold and manifest, right? When we realize we can only control what we can, and maybe that's speaking our truth, questioning things, because I don't know how many people on here can make arrests or hold people accountable in military tribunals. If you know, message me, love to meet you. I don't know if any of us can. And yet we get so mad when a plan, quote unquote, doesn't go according to our quote unquote timeline, right? Think events instead of dates. Such a great reflection. It's such a great reminder because we get hooked on dates because we're programmed to be expecting of a date. My birthday, my due date, my anniversary, right? My job promotion, Friday, the first of the month. Look how many dates trigger a response in the body that release a neurochemistry and a chemical property that inhibits dopamine, serotonin, melatonin, and all these other things. So now all of a sudden, when we put our focus and attention and energy on a date and it doesn't manifest the way it does, we get frustrated. Our faith drops, our energy drops, right? We start getting confused, we start getting anxious, and we start realizing, oh my gosh, it's all a psyop. It's not happening. Hold on. Slow down. You know, there's so much happening. It's hard to see though when you're in that state of fear. Fear paralyzes logic. Fear paralyzes common sense. Fear actually distorts your lens. You now don't see things as clear as you do because in the back of your mind, you're scared of something's going to happen, or you're scared you're going to get let down again. And that fear is rampant, and that can consume you over time. All right? So you're seeing a lot of people who have been patient, who have really looked at the bigger picture, that are seeing things unfold that are so absurd and far-fetched, there's no way possible. Right? From, the clothing the military's wearing to the White House activity to DC still on lockdown. Again, I could do a whole nother live talking about those crumbs. I'm just trying to kind of summarize a lot of things that are happening. But I do know that we're pretty much on the cusp of a huge, huge shift. And it happened already a few weeks ago, and it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. I think a lot of us are expecting the Great Awakening, quote unquote, to happen in one day. You guys, we're just getting started. This is the beginning. The old world has ended as we know it. It's completely dissolving right in front of our eyes. And those that are manifesting certain things in their life, those that are going through certain things that are truly horrible maybe, or truly fearful or frightening, it's part of their lineage, it's part of their karma and their DNA that they're playing out. It's hard to say. It's hard to admit it. It's hard to even share that because you don't want that for people. But at the same time, we can't control people. We can't control their realities. We can't control what people see. We can't control what people believe in. All we can control is what we speak. Yeah, March, exactly. Every day is going to be a big day going forward. You're literally going to see, quote unquote, not to create the whole separation of left or right. Now you're going to see the whole quote unquote people who have been duped by mainstream media, that have been led on by quote unquote the Democratic Party. Now they're getting red-pilled. Now they're seeing truly what this is all about and how all of these things that have been projected on the other side of things are in fact the very things that these people are doing itself. And it's fascinating to see. And you can get caught up in it. You really can get lost up in it. So be mindful, stay grounded. Again, get back to those principles at the beginning of this live, and that's going to help you work and navigate through these difficulty and tough emotional times. And a lot of times the things that we get fearful of externally, we can feel internally. And that's the feeling inside in itself, right? What's going to happen in March? Well, a lot of things could happen. And again, not to throw on dates or predictions because we've learned how if we attach to those, what could occur. But March could be a time where the 19th president of the Republican Constitution is sworn in. And what you're seeing is a fictitious president acting out and casting executive orders that actually aren't doing anything. And mainstream media is doing the very best they can to cover that up. Truly, nothing is really happening. And now you're having, the Secretary of Treasury, so to speak, involved in the whole stock market crash. Now you have the Pacific Fleet General, which is General Flynn's brother. How does that happen? Aren't they against each other? Why did that happen? You're having Air Force One non-existent. You're having the Pentagon keeping the current quote-unquote foreign president of the fictitious D.C. land. Because D.C., the Washington, D.C. capital, you guys, it's not part of America. It's not part of America. Do you guys know that? There's so much history that we have no idea because it's been fake and distorted. So we have no idea what's going on. We just think what's going on is what mainstream media shows. There is a fake president living on a fake piece of land, right, in a fake house that has no jurisdiction whatsoever. And the past president, quote unquote, of just a few weeks ago has been operating on a different lens. It's been operating on a different timeline. It's 5D chess. It's 5D chess. It's so wild. The moment you figure something out, there's 10 more other things happening. The moment you figure that out, there's 20 more things happening. You're like, how do I keep up? The best thing you could do is maybe surrender to it and not really keep up. And choose to keep up when you can, because there's people out there that are committing their life, that are committing their energy and time to connect these dots for people. And those are the same people that are getting projected and attacked because they're fighting for freedom. Isn't that wild? People are literally helping each other and fighting for each other, and the response they're getting is an attack, or they're called crazy, or they're labeled, conspiracy theorists, or they're getting censored. That's the world that we're in, right? That's the world that we're in. So I have no fear whatsoever. I have no worries because regardless, zoom out some more, bigger things are happening in the spiritual world. And you're talking about the energy that's coming in. You're talking about the full moon. You're talking about the Schumann resonance. Now it's like, okay. This is written in the stars. This is written in astrology. You can tap into the sky astrology. What is within is without, right? It's pretty wild what is happening in the bigger picture, and it's all pretty much coordinated with the same timeline as biblical time, so to speak. And I get it. The Bible has been distorted many times. A lot of the stuff that we read in the Bible has been twisted and turned and changed by simply changing words. Word magic is real. But we can zoom out and realize the bigger picture, the intention, the feelings, and the emotions, right? We can start to realize and connect dots on ourselves. Right? So looking at that 4D, 5D lens, we're bridging the science and spiritual world. We're bridging new quantum financial systems, which you're now seeing the stop of the game, GameStop. You guys catch little drops recently? GameStop is stopping the economy, so to speak, is crashing Wall Street. the game is ending. GameStop, game over, right? And then you have the AMC movie theaters. We're watching a movie. Isn't it wild how everything seems to prove the past, the future proves the past? It's all right there. It's all right there if you have that hydrated lens, if you're able to see past the illusion, if you're able to feel and trust and know, if you're able to stay in your balance, stay in homeostasis, stay grounded, stay hydrated, breathe into your belly, allow your feminine to be expressed, initiate the masculine when it comes to building and creating solutions, and you start finding that balance within. And when you find that balance within, you realize everything outside, one day it seems bad, the next day it seems good. It's because God's constantly finding balance amongst millions and billions of people. And most people have no idea that God's working through them right now. And it's really powerful to see because God is love, God is energy, God is light, God is all things. God is all things. Right? For me, it's not one person sitting up on the sky on a throne. Could be though. It could be whatever you want to make it. And at the end of the day, for me, God is love, and love is winning, and light is coming back. And all this evil that has been plagued upon our current financial systems, our education system, our healthcare system, our nutrition systems, our banking systems, our military, our children, our healthcare, our awareness, our psychology, all of that is being reconfigured. It's getting erased and recoded. We're literally recoding our DNA. We're purging all this trauma that's been stored in us. And you signed up for this time because you're worthy of it and you're capable of doing this. You've probably come from somewhere across the galaxy far, far away. Star Wars is real. Star Wars is real, you guys. It's a real thing. We're living in a world that's a movie and reality at the same time. And it's truly fascinating. And all of these things are going to be shown. The disclosure and declass is already done. It's already happening. It just depends where you look. Right? And it depends where you look and what you're open to, because the moment you open yourself up to this, answers will come. A lot of us want answers and seek answers, yet we're closed off to truth because we're going to get triggered. We're going to be proven wrong. We're going to realize that we live life in a certain way and not the way we always intended. When you open yourself up to these kind of things, whether it's in meditation, journaling, detoxing, taking care of your body, connecting in nature, clearing your chakras, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel is the best thing for you to do, not because I told you, things will come into your life. Information will come into your life. Answers will come into your life. And some will come externally, internally. A lot's going to come internally and will manifest externally. And that's when you know you're tapped in. How do you know? You start seeing 1111. You start seeing some divine repetitive numbers, some palindrome numbers. All of a sudden that number doesn't leave you alone. And now numbers are talking to you. You start seeing 369. You start getting curious about Tesla. You start getting curious about free energy. And you start realizing, wait a minute, why am I getting curious about this stuff? Clearly something is going on. Clearly something is going on. And those that don't want you to become aware of this know. So they're going to do everything they can to keep you stuck and confused. They're going to throw more propaganda at you. They're going to throw more misinformation. They're going to plant the whole psyop seed in your mind. They're going to try to black pill you. They're going to try to confuse you. They're going to send trolls to your page. They're going to censor you. They're going to throw every swing because it's already over. It's already done. It's already lost. They're just sore losers. And they're trying to take this planet down with them as they leave this planet itself. Things are happening, you guys. So much is happening. And if I read you every single piece of information, internally and externally, I've come across, we'd be here for 55,000 hours. Now, and I'm not saying you have to believe me on everything I say. And if not, don't believe me at all. But maybe this triggers something in you. Maybe this starts your process. Maybe this starts your curiosity, because you are here for a very divine reason. You are here for a reason that bigger than I even could even imagine. If you knew me years ago, I wouldn't be saying this stuff. I wouldn't. It's just 7:30, 7 o'clock, almost 7 o'clock on a Friday night. I'd be somewhere out at a bar years ago. I woke up. I had a divine intervention. It all connected. And I start remembering who I am and what I'm doing here, and why I share what I share, and why I went through life the way I did, and why I trial and errored so much. All right, your mess could be someone's message. Your mess can be someone's message. And that's one of the greatest things. So if you're in a mess right now, if you're going through something right now, to someone else, that's someone's message. Someone's message, right? Your trials and tribulations, your errors and mistakes, that's someone's blueprint to getting out of something in their life. You're not a failure. You're far from it. It's your first attempt in learning. So many great acronyms that you can really pick up along the way, right? You're perfect as you are. I get imperfect, imperfections and all that. Remember, those are words. Those are words. Word magic, right? The vibration that comes from our vocal cords, that passes our lungs, that travels through our throat chakra and it speaks out, that's light, that's energy. That builds things. Maybe it's building you right now. So be mindful of the words you say. Be mindful of the words you embody and the words you teach. Use metaphors and analogies. Pictures help because pictures tap into the right brain. Words and analytics tap into the left brain. If you can paint pictures for people while using simple words that are empowering, present, and progressive taking, you now can start creating and help create someone's reality that they never even knew they had in the first place. They have literally their paintbrush in their hand. They have no idea it's in their hand. They have no idea how to put paint on it. They have no idea that they're the greatest, artists of their own artwork, and life is their canvas. And yet we get mad because someone else came in, took our paintbrush and started painting for us, like mainstream media, and said, this is what you got to do. And it doesn't have to be like that, unless you want it to be, unless you choose it to be. But that choice is always up to you, right? So let's see. I want to do a little questions before we wrap this up. Again, touching on a bunch of different topics. We talked a little bit about building your energy and all these things. You guys have any specific questions? Let's see if there's any specific questions. You guys have any specific questions about anything? Throw a question out there in the chat. We'll answer as we'll wrap this up in about 5 or 10 more minutes. Starting a podcast, motivated by me, that's amazing. You're doing it. I planted to see it, I guess, and you're watering it, so way to go. Shout out to you. Very, very cool. You guys have any questions? Anything, fire away. What are your thoughts on Mary, Mother of Jesus? Great question. Great question. Depending on what lens you look at, depending on what perspective. For example, Mary can be your pineal gland. Like what? A lot of the things in the Bible are allegories for the body, right? So Mary could be the feminine aspect. It could be the divine feminine. It could be the pineal pituitary glands. Mary and Joseph, pineal and pituitary. It's just a divine essence. I was talking to my mother about this the other day. It's interesting how we say he and him so much in the Bible, which is interesting. When did we talk about she or her? And that always fascinated me. When we talk about Mother Earth and the divine feminine and the water aspect, not the fire always, right? But the mother aspect. And it's always dawned upon me, right? So yeah, definitely great question. Will the stock market crash? Honestly, I don't know if the word crash is the right word, but I do know it's about to get exposed. And maybe exposed means crash. You're seeing it happen right now. The people are waking up fast and they're using every asset they can. They're using every piece of tool they can to bring those that have been in power. For example, this country is not run by politicians. It's run by banks and corporations. If you guys didn't know that. Politicians are just puppets. It should be called puppet master, not politicians in Congress. It's puppets. You're just getting pulled by strings by lobbyists, pharmaceuticals, companies, banks, corporations. Those are pulling the strings. So I think we're about to see more exposure before a crash. At the same time, I can see a crash for sure, and that's going to usher in this new quantum financial system that is ready to go. It's been ready to go. So that's what I feel is going to happen, definitely. Something like along those lines, right? Let's see. Any more info on med beds? Med beds. Those are interesting. Those use quantum frequencies that can scan the body. Again, this one of thousands of patents that have been created, just not have been available. NESARA in itself, as that launches, that's going to release a lot of free energy and technology and patents that have been suppressed for quite some time. So MedBed, you pretty much just lay down on the bed and scans your body with frequency, and it looks for what you're lacking at the cellular level, the DNA level, and then it creates a bioharmonic at a very calculated design. It's like extraterrestrial technology, and you pretty much can age backwards. You can cure diseases instantaneously. You're getting little drops of it. Like I have a thing called what's this called? A Healy. I don't know if you guys ever heard of a Healy. So this Healy actually has 144,000 different frequencies in this device in itself, and it scans your whole system, and it looks for the frequencies that you're lacking: bioenergetic support, mental support, learning, cognition, sleeping, beauty, physical, mental performance, gastrointestinal, meridians, chakras, and it picks up what you're losing or missing or imbalance in frequency, and then it creates that frequency to match it. So that's kind of a little soft D class, so to speak, a Healy device, which is really, really cool. Let's see, what else? How do you understand the Bible? I like to understand the Bible in different ways. I think it's fascinating. Again, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. So for me, the Bible in itself is a bunch of words. Now, when you read words, you get certain images in the mind. That's where you're going to get these allegorical stories of Mary and Joseph, Jacob's ladder, Moses parting of the Red Sea, the burning bush, all of these things, right? These are stories. These are images. Ask yourself how much of those stories and images are actually correlated with the body or the brain, for example. You look at Jacob's ladder, 33 degrees, not 33 degrees, but you get that idea too, but you have 33 vertebrae of your spine. Jacob climbed Jacob's ladder and met God where? At pineal gland. So you get the cerebral spinal fluid, the living water. You've got the pituitary and pineal gland. You have the corpus callosum, the cerebellum. You have all of these different things in the Bible. So the Bible in itself, for me, is an allegorical, metaphorical representation of the body and the brain connected, while giving us a simple way to understand it by using stories, characters, facts, and figures broken down in words. However, when you have words, you have this opportunity to be distorted. So you can simply swap out one word for another, like the Roman Catholic Church did in Catholicism in the Vatican, to keep people feeling desperate or in lack, or something that is outside of them, or something that is shameful if they do not live in God's highest standards, or something where there's fear. The God that I know, fear doesn't exist, and there's no such thing as shame, right? These are things that were manifested because we felt a lower vibration based of not living in accordance to a piece of a paper full of words, which in fact words in itself are a part of the Babel virus. Not the Bible verse, the Babel virus. But words in itself are viruses. That's why mainstream media can implant a virus in the millions of people. We just never had that in the past. Are politicians trained actors? That's a great question. You're watching a lot of shitty actors right now, by the way. Ones that have already given up their role and are playing a part in this movie. But I believe, yes, they're forefronts, they're puppets and all those things. There's no such thing as a politician. Apart from water, what other food do I recommend? Definitely fruit. Fruit, number one thing on the planet, in my opinion. Organic, natural, non-hybridized, free of pesticides, not GMO'd fruit. The cleanest you can get. Dr. Sebi has a great fruit list. Robert Morse, Arnold Ehret are great pioneers that have discovered the power of fruit. Herbs are powerful as well. Those are probably the best foods I think the human body can eat. Well, we're frugivores by design. Don't believe me? Go look it up. We don't have fangs and claws and a short digestive system and certain things in our body. We were designed to climb, forage, pull, peel, consume, digest slowly, use the seeds that we pass to plant more trees. It's always crazy how one seed can feed a community, and yet we look at one apple we think can feed one person. So fruit for sure. Do I offer one-on-one coaching support? Not yet. What I do right now is I coach people in our Wake movement who is a part of, starting their own business. So I teach them about abundance. I teach them how to structure their day. I teach them about taxes and finances. I teach them about detox. I teach them about self-development improvement. And I work with probably 50 people or more in our community of almost 500, which is Wake Water Co. And we allow water to be a catalyst in that. So I teach people that right now. Eventually I'll open up to private one-on-one coaching for life coaching and things like that. Just for this time being, my full energy is on my whole team and my community that I've invested in now for almost a couple of years. So soon. I have my website almost done, come out better. So we'll stay on the look for that. What do you think the first steps would be to truly break out of the matrix and connect with your inner spirit? I would definitely think, flip it in terms of what you can add. Start asking yourself, what can you eliminate? Process of elimination is a great way to start. Learning how to say no to people, learning how to say no to certain energy, cutting out toxic habits, franken foods, maybe alcohol, limiting beliefs, things that are stressing you out. We tend to be programmed to add more things, or what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And that's action forming. That's very masculine in a way. Your feminine probably wants to be freed. That rest and recover, right? That relaxation, that homeostasis, that parasympathetic most likely wants to be freed and activated. So I think a good start would be definitely to look in that regards. How to get more into my right brain. That's a great way to start. How do I get in my right brain? Conscious deep breathing, staying hydrated, putting your feet in the ground, connecting with Mother Nature, sun gazing, stretching and yoga, eating more living foods full of fruit and vegetables, which is full of water. I always try the best I can to consume foods that are full of water, and cook foods that takes water from you. What other questions? Great questions. I love it. Yeah, 144,000 frequencies, biblical too. It's all connected. It's all connected. What are your thoughts on infrared light therapy and implications of where light healing will go in the future? Huge. Infrared light is huge, and definitely red light therapy. Not to go too deep on it, but it penetrates at the cellular level and is able to kind of cook those bugs, and so to speak. And why infrared? Well, look what we're looking at is blue light. The opposite of infrared. The blue light, the EMF, and all those things. So it's definitely been distorted. It's called a Healy, yes. Thoughts on time travel? We do it all the time. If you're living right now, and anytime you leave the present moment, you're time traveling. Time is linear, time is man-made. So if I'm sitting here and you've been listening to me, and if I'm speaking on things and you're leaving the moment and you're thinking about tomorrow or what I'm doing the next day or what I'm eating for dinner after Chris is done with my live, you're time traveling. You're always time traveling. And that's the crazy part. We don't realize we're time traveling. Anxiety and depression are two words that cover the fact that they don't want us to realize we're time travelers. That's what I feel in my lens. Your body is a church. What did you make it? I do know that your body is a temple, and you have your temples here, and they wanted to attack the temple of God and the temple to Solomon's temple and all those things. So your body, your true vessel, holds a lot of information. Water is mentioned over 660 times in the Bible. You're 75% water, another correlation. And it definitely is a huge connection. Noah's Ark, exactly, all these things. Yes, Dr. Robert Morris, exactly. I never found, I think they're extraterrestrial. I think I've had many encounters with extraterrestrials, physically, like personally, right outside my tent in Joshua Tree. Most profound experience of my life, and I get chills talking about it. But I've had tons of experiences. They're showing themselves now, and they're a part of this whole disclosure. It's happening every single day, more and more and more. But yeah, a lot of people actually saw a lot that night, and that was about a month ago. What's an action step to take right after this video? I would definitely say hydrate yourself. Ask yourself, what liquids are you putting in your body? Remember, you're 99% water at the molecular level. Our water's been polluted and distorted externally. Therefore, our water's internally been distorted and polluted. Hydration is so important. Probably the number one thing in my lens that I've noticed. When I'm dehydrated, I get triggered easily. When I'm dehydrated, I get confused easily. When I'm dehydrated, I leave the present moment. When I'm dehydrated, I get very anxious. When I'm dehydrated, I don't feel grounded, because I'm basically taking life force away from you. When you die, you have no water left in your body. There's a thing called the interstitium. Doctors just discovered this, is when the interstitium is kind of like the web in between your skin and your whole body in itself. That's where they're discovering, and they're thinking possibly is where your soul is housed, in the interstitium. And the interstitium is all water. So your soul, energy, light, neutrinos, whatever you want to call it, is housed in water. And if my body is 99% water at the molecular level, this light is held in water. Light refracts through water. So our soul refracts through the water in our body and manifests our reality. And so if I'm dehydrated, if the water in my body is unstructured, if it's acidic, if it's inflammatory, if it's polluted, not filtered, well, my soul is going to have a tough time playing out its reality. My soul is going to have a challenging time playing out this reality that is the human experience. So definitely breathing and hydration, top two number one things, definitely. Any info on where XRP is going in the future? It's going to the moon. There's a whole There's a whole channel on Telegram right now with almost 30,000 people in one day that are going to do quote unquote a pump, like just like GameStop did on Monday for XRP. So if you're looking to buy some, go for it. It's not financial advice. Do whatever you want. I've got a bunch of it, and you can buy it on Uphold. Can't buy it anywhere else, so we'll see what happens. What happens to those who cannot go through the transition because they refuse to awaken? Another great question. Hard to say exactly. There's a few scenarios that could take place. One, it's just going to be hell on earth for them. It's just everything that's going to come into reality, where it's a flat tire, an illness, a bankruptcy, breakup, just stuff we don't want, perhaps will manifest in their reality, and it'll get to a tipping point where they wake up. Another possibility definitely could be, hard to wrap your head around it maybe at this moment, is being taken to another planet. I know it's wild. I know. Trust me, I know. I don't know if that'll happen. It's just allowing yourself to see that without attaching to it, because we are vibrating at a rate where, it's going to be a high vibrational reality. It's going to be a high vibrational density. You're feeling it right now. That's why you might be getting anxious and things like that. So hard to say, but my guess is people are just going to start manifesting heaven on earth, and a lot of people are going to manifest, the other one on earth. How much water should we be drinking? I always say not how much you drink, it's how much you absorb. So you can drink 2 gallons of Arrowhead water. It's tough. Water is one of the biggest misconceptions and miseducated things out there. And I had no idea anything about water in terms of absorption, utilization, how it's used in the body, how many different properties and chemical interactions. We go through thousands of chemical interactions per day, and those are all done in water. So if we're dehydrated, if our water is polluted, acidic, contaminated, like I said, how do those chemical reactions actually manifest? How do we release dopamine into our system, or serotonin? Right? These are byproducts of having balance internally, intracellular and extracellular health at the quantum level. And that's definitely with water as well. Will I be able to send this video? Of course, I'm going to post it right after. Yeah, you drink your own urine. I haven't done that yet, but I've heard tons of amazing benefits. All power to you. For me, I always look at things bigger picture. So I don't know how many people can do that in the moment. So I try to look at a zoom out lens, and I'd rather look at scalability. So I don't know how many millions of people are drinking their own urine. Great if you do, awesome. For it to be a lifestyle and something you do consistently for the rest of your life, I don't know. So that's kind of where my thought is. But yeah, urine therapy is real. Absolutely, I could see that. Great questions. One of the best practices? I stay away. I choose to stay away from best, because I think everyone has their own lens of the word best. Look at the word best. What does that mean? What is the best? Do we even know what the best is? Hape is a powerful medicine I love, and it's a plant medicine. It's a sacred snus from the Amazon. Make sure you're getting a good source. Clears your aura, resets your energy. It balances the masculine and feminine. And that practice itself was taken by quote unquote evil and was distorted and became cocaine. And so you see how these indigenous plant medicines, at least in my lens, they've taken these things, they've distorted it, and they've made it something where it's toxic and actually opens yourself up to entities and demons and parasites and attachments. So they've taken good and they've inverted it to evil. Right? Everything's just been flipped, and we're flipping it back. God made the world perfect with all this abundance and opportunity, and those that came from who knows where and with bad intentions, disconnected from God, just flipped it inside out. And so now we're flipping it back. That's why we're returning back to origin. We're getting back to how things were in the first place. Let's see. A couple more, and then I'm going to jump off. I'm going to chill the rest of the night. Water of life, cool, amazing. It sounds amazing. So another planet, or the Earth is flat Earth, wild thing, right? For me, I just look at different dimensions. I'm not in a space to say what the shape of the planet is, because again, shapes and geometry what are those? Are those linear? If they're in the education system, which is funded by the Rockefellers, how much of that is accurate? Our globe, I do know there is more than what meets the eye. For me, I feel like this world is just a hologram and we're living in a multidimensional universe. And if you believe it's flat, then that's what you're going to see. If you believe it's round, that's what you're going to see. It's whatever you believe to be seen. And I think the truth will truly come out and we'll all know, right? Wow, you're in therapy for 24 years. That's amazing. Beautiful. Any last questions? Awesome. I love all this. You guys have been amazing. All right. If you're willing to share, when is my birthday? Ready for this? Pretty wild, right? I was born on May 22nd, 522. I was born at 10:22. Well, I think maybe 10:21. I like saying 10:22. So therefore I was born 522 at 2222. My number in college was 2. My nickname in college was CO2. My partner Jilly, her favorite number is 2. The water I drink has H2. There's a lot of crazy stuff, right? A lot of crazy stuff. What astrology? Astrology is interesting. I'm fascinated with the sky astrology. It goes, outside of the 12-month calendar, I think. I think we've been on the Gregorian calendar. Human design is fascinating as well. If you guys ever heard of that, go to the jovianarchive.com, look up your human design. I'm a 3/5 manifesting generator with an emotional authority. What's cool is when you learn about yourself, when you really start learning about yourself, you learn everything. You truly do. We tend to be programmed to learn everything outside of ourselves. When you really learn about yourself and how your mechanics work, how your energy works, how your body functions, not what mainstream media says or even blood types, interesting stuff, right? I'm an O negative blood type. I need to eat red meat. I haven't had red meat in years. I feel better than ever. Right? So it's what is actually true. But the more you learn about yourself, the more you dive into your mechanics and how you operate and how your brain works and your left and right brain hemisphere, your masculine and feminine energy, your neutrinos in your body, your emotion, your authority, your response systems, what triggers you. When you learn about this stuff, that's what they don't want you to wake up to. Because you start learning about yourself, life becomes a game. Life becomes so much fun. Every day is an adventure in life when you start really learning about yourself, which is really, really cool. Yeah, human design, love it. Gotta love it. Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix, me too. Manjed, me too. Ha, that's funny. 3/5, yeah, I'm across of the Sleeping Phoenix, which is really, really fascinating. And I'm still actually had a human design session today. Yeah, Jilly's on here. She put Align by Design. That's our sister Victoria, and we've been blessed to actually live with her for over a year and learn the human design and mechanics. And I'll probably do a live on that maybe next time. Maybe that's divine in the cards next time, because that's where we are headed. As we're waking up to, instead of programs, we're waking up to our designs, our God design. It's another amazing book, The God Design by Emily Marie Kerr. So much stuff. Anywho, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Empower yourself. You guys have been amazing. Share this video. Again, I've been kind of hit with the old ban, so to speak, and I know not many people are seeing this stuff. So we're going to change it. We're the algorithm. Again, the stuff I share it with people. Tag me if you want. Get this information out. The more we help each other and come together, that's the very thing that those that have been in control for quite some time, who are no longer in control and are fading, don't want us to do. So the more we can empower and inspire, the more we can communicate and collaborate and and build each other up and create these communities, create this education and awareness. We are the news. We are everything now. We are technology. We are powerful. We are more powerful than we think. And we're remembering that. And if you're watching this, thank you. If you're watching the replay, you're amazing. Never forget that. You have everything that you need within you. Just shed those layers back, connect your dots, zoom out, see the bigger picture, zoom back in, connect those dots again, and rise out of those ashes just like the phoenix does and come out better. And that's it, guys. That's the name of the game. All right, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Much love. I'm going to post this now. We'll share it, tag it, and make it happen. And we'll see you on the next one. Love you guys.